Okay, um, we're gonna make the Impossible Star of David, and so as the video says, we start by making the impossible triangle right here. And the way you make an impossible triangle is you need to start with a circle with a center. So I'm going to put that circle right here in the middle of my screen, and I will rotate point B around A, and let's rotate it by 120 degrees. And then rotate B prime around A. Okay. By 120 degrees. And then, so there are my 3 points there. All right. Then it goes on to say that we make a second impossible triangle, but this one's upside down. Okay. And so let me prep for that by rotating these other points 60 degrees. If I rotate this one by 60 degrees, it gives me this point, the top left point. And then I can rotate B1 prime around A, and I can rotate that by 120 degrees. And they're calling it C. And then point C around A and rotate that by 120 degrees. And that's C prime. Okay, so now I can hide my circle and the center, and I can start by making the first impossible triangle. So I connect B to B prime, and then B prime to B double prime, and then B double prime back up to B. All right, now in order to create those inner tracks, I'll put a test point on B double prime. That point is D. And then I'm going to measure that point with my compass. All right, so I click B, then D, then I'm going to put that circle on B. And then B, D, and then put that circle on B prime. And then B, D, and put that circle on B double prime. Okay. Now, okay. I will next mark the intersections of the circle with the legs of the triangle. And by marking those intersection points, that gives me the points that I will use to make my what's it called? My inner tracks. All right, so let's hide the circles. And we'll start creating those inner tracks. So I have D, down to F, and G over to I, and H up to E. Now, the great thing about this is all dependent upon how far D is from B. So if I make D further away from B, it's going to change all of the widths of the tracks going all the way around. If I made them too big, I can bring in D and everything's good. Everything shrinks accordingly. Okay, so I need to understand that D is my fulcrum point, my test point, whatever you want to call it. All right. Now I can mark the intersections of those inner tracks, and then I can put more circles on my intersection points from B to D around L, from B to D around J, from B to D around K. All right, then I'll mark those intersection points. And with that, I can make my third set of internal lines. Okay. And I think I can even hide these circles. And I'll go from R to O, and then P to M, and then N to Q. Okay, and let's mark the intersections. And there is my first triangle. We can make sure we have it completed by drawing in the corners. Now, because it's doing the whole over, under task going around this triangle, I'm not going to hide the lines quite yet, just because I need the whole thing in there so that I can hide the under portions. All right. But right now, the thickness is all dependent upon how far D is away from B. Okay. You can see this fluctuates based on how big that BD segment is. All right. So let's make the upside down triangle from B1 prime to C, from C up to C prime, and from C prime back over to B1 prime. And then let's use the compass and measure from B to D. Put that there. B to D. Let's put it down here. And then B to D. Put it right there. Okay, so now I need to mark my intersections. Okay, and then go to my segments from W to A1, from Z up to C1, and from B1 over to V. And then mark my intersections. Okay. And then I will use my compass again. And the same distance, we'll put that circle on D, or D1. The same distance, put that circle on E1. And the same distance, put that circle on F1. Okay. And then I will mark my intersections. Okay. And then connect my segments. From G1 to L1, from K1 to I1. Okay, so I have 3 on each one. Now, what I need to do is every time a triangle leg goes underneath a triangle leg, then I need to make the intersection points along the outside of those legs so that when I start hiding legs, I can hide the underneath portion. All right. So that's going to be over here. Let's zoom in a little bit. And that means intersection. Let's put points right here. We do need to mark these intersections. Okay. All right, so that part is done. This part needs to be done. Okay, and I'm just going to go around these intersections clockwise fashion. And so I can do this one, D2, E2, and F2, and G2, H2, and I2, and then J2, K2, and L2. And I feel like I'm saying R2D2 over and over again. But anyways, M2, N2, and O2. And then P2, Q2, and R2. And S2, T2, and U2. And V2, W2, and Z2, and A3, B3, and C3. Okay, believe it or not, I believe I'm now at a point where I have all of my points and I can start hiding things. So let's hide the circles. We'll start with that. And okay. Next, we'll make our segments covering those upside down triangle corners, making sure I've finished those off. And so now I need to hide all of my lines and then start redrawing in the correct lines that I need. So let's hide all the lines. Okay. And we'll start with this one. We're going to go down to A3, and then from Z2 down to G, and then from D down to B3, and then skip across to W2, across to J. And then from R down to C3, and then skip across to V2 down to S. Okay, now we're going to move transition over to the right. So I'll go across from F over to M2 and L2 over to H. and then from J over to N2, and K2 across to, how do we do that? Across to K. And then from S over to O2 and J2 across to T. And now I can now go up that leg. So I'll go up from I across to Z1 and C2 over to D. And then from K up to W1 and then skip over to B2 and that comes up to R. And then from T up to V1 and then skip across from A2 and that goes up to U. All right. So I've just created the first triangle, right? The first of the impossible triangles. So now let's work on the upside down triangle. So I'll go from V down to S2 and then skip over to P2 and that goes down to Z. All right. And then maybe I can just go around. That might be easiest. Okay. So my next step because I need to remember how we do these. The way we do the triangle is clutch because you come down this arm, and when you get to the end of the triangle, you take a left turn. So we'll connect P to S. And so okay. So here I'm going to go from W2 down to P, and then from P across to S. All right. And this started up at D. So here I will go from F to M2, L2 across to H. and I up to Z1 and C2 up to D. So let's get my inner line drawn. And from G over to N2, and then from K2 over to N, and then make a left turn and then N to T. So here I'll go from H up to W1, and then from B2 up to R. That's the end of my triangle. And then make a left turn. Okay, from U to A2, B1 to this, and T over to J2 and O2 back to this. Okay, there's my first impossible triangle. Now let's recreate the upside down impossible triangle. And I will start by making a full lap around this. This is my outer ring on the impossible, upside down impossible triangle. Okay, then the next ring in, we're going from here, that's from W to T2, and then skip over to Q2, and I get down to G1, and then make a left turn to Q1. And then I can create my inside ring. Okay. So then from Z, we're going up to E2. But it's a good thing I have all these points in here. Okay. And then from B1 across to T1. And then S1 back to R1. Okay, so it looks like I have finished my Star of David. And again, the whole thing is dependent upon, the whole thickness of it is dependent upon the size of BD. So if I make BD bigger, you can see this all gets thicker. If I make BD smaller, then the arms or the legs, they all get skinnier. This is kind of neat. So if I want to make it if I want to make the legs fatter or thicker, I can do that. But if not, I can keep them like this. All right. So if let's see, when we go to shade this, we did the impossible triangle. We did shading, and so let's hide the labels. All right. So I'm gonna hide my external points. Just because they are not connected to my Star of David. And so therefore they don't really have any purpose in my design here. And then the rest of stuff, the rest of the points, I'm going to hide the labels. And I think that will do a good job of cleaning this up, getting the letters out of the way. And that way I can still touch the points for shading purposes. And so when I shade this, I'll pick two colors that are like connected, like primary colors or secondary colors, things like that. And so that we'll make sure that this looks clean and good, clean and nice. And if we pick the right colors, hopefully it will. All right, so zoom in. From here. All right, we're still hiding labels. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to shade this, and before we do that, I will sign this design by putting my name on it. And I'm just going to put it right here in the middle of our design. And I'll make this say John Pallison. And we'll make this all bold and italics. So hopefully it looks nice. And there you go. It's right here in the middle. And so when I use polygon shading, I'm going to do let's see. I will do this side. And then I will do this polygon shading. I will do this side. Okay. Somehow my point up here got hidden. And so let's go back to show hide object and make sure that this point D is not hidden. And now we can do this. All right, there we go. Okay, so start at this point, and I will shade this portion of the polygon. And then I will also shade this portion. Okay. And so all of those three portions are all going to get the same color. And so we'll say that it's, let's see, red can be with green, blue can be with orange, purple and yellow, I can do yellow. So let's do this. Let's pick SLZ colors. Let's go, this is going to be red. And let's say, let's move it to 20 or 25. Okay. And then how about show height label? There we go. Okay, so then, ooh, I think this might be nice. All right, so my next one will be this one. And I'm going to make this guy orange. And again, we'll pump it up to 25. And then my last little bit. Okay. And so my last leg, I'm going to make this yellow. So the first triangle are the first three colors of the rainbow, red, orange, and yellow. And so let's do this guy. And we'll make this one yellow. And our opacity will be up to 25. There we go. And here's my next one. My next section. Okay. And that one is going to be, we'll pick the same recent. Okay. And then let me get my last section. And this section, make yellow. And opacity will be 25. All right, so red, orange, and yellow. Kind of interesting. All right, and then let's color the other one, the upside down triangle, as red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So green, blue, and purple. And actually, should I do? I'm wondering if I should make one triangle primary colors like red, yellow, and blue, and the other triangle the secondary colors. So orange, green, and purple. And actually, I think that sounds good. So I'm going to do that. So that means I need to change. I'll have red and yellow stay, but I'll change my orange section to blue. Okay. All right. So there's my primary color triangle. And the other one is going to be my, what's it called? My secondary color triangle. And so now we'll start from the bottom. Okay. And so this one, I will make this, let's see, if red starts here, orange should start here. So this one should be green then. 30, and it's green. 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 Okay. This section will be orange. Okay. So orange for this one. Oh. Okay. Okay, then my last section will be purple. Okay, then move. Okay, so it's a pretty interesting little design. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and hide every point. Because I think it looks a lot cleaner with all the points hidden than if we're showing the points. Let's see. Yeah, it looks very clean. Okay. These points. Okay, so I got those. I just need to get these down here. I think that's all. Oh, I missed a few down here. Very nice. Very nice. Good looking design there. Very cool. Okay, so now I can save this and include my share link. This is called the Impossible Star of David. Save it. And there's my share link. I can include that share link in my, what's that thing called? The template. And let's go back to this. And I can go from there. All right. So enjoy it. Have fun with this. And we'll see you later. Have a great day.